Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
Larry Evans. Where's the attorney for Larry Evans?
Here.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't go far from.
Is there going to be an agreement or no?
No.
All right. And this is the motion in both cases?
Affirmative.
Don, are you ready? All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 0059 and 2024 CR 0056, State of Texas versus Larry Evans. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Anna Ochoa Nelson.
Defense?
Andrew Fraley for Mr. Evans.
And are you Mr. Evans?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, in each of the cause numbers, the court has received a motion to amend bond conditions. State, have you had a chance to review the motions?
Yes, Your.
State, are you prepared to proceed?
Yes, Your.
So it appears that his conditions are GPS full house arrest and no contact with the complainant. And is the complainant the same in each cause number?
To answer your question, yes, Your Honor.
All right.
If I may, I believe he's on partial house arrest at this time, Judge. He's allowed to go from this tracking.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, because that's what it says in your motion.
What date was that motion filed, Your Honor?
This is November. Do you have an updated one? All right, if you could give me a copy of the updated one.
And Judge, it was modified in January.
All right, thank you.
I'm going to hand you all.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
This should be file stamped on February the 6th, the
Yes.
last court date. We also have included motions for speedy trial in both cases.
All right.
Assertion of the right to a speedy trial.
All right, so first things first. So there's a partial GPS for work only, and there's no contact with the complainant.
Correct.
So defense, what are you requesting?
We're requesting the removal of the GPS altogether, Your Honor. My client works at Specs as the delivery driver. And
Mhm.
it's impossible for him to go all around. Well, excuse me, not possible. He did work that route. Mr. Evans, would you like to explain better than me?
Yes.
Oh, you want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Larry Evans,
All right.
Mr. Evans, where do you work?
Specs.
What do you do at Specs?
I deliver liquor.
So when you deliver that, you go all around the city, correct?
Yes.
And when you do that, you originally had a problem
Yeah.
with, when you originally doing it with GPS tracking.
Yes.
And then what happened?
I was with some clients and it went off. And so my supervisor said, since it went off, I can't work the route until I can get it removed. And that takes 2 hours from my
Hold on.
10-hour day.
So he said you can't work the route until you get it removed.
Yeah.
So they shifted you to a different
The
position
warehouse.
and you actually lost money based on that.
Yes.
And you, every day you're losing money based on that information.
Yes.
And you can, I don't know if the court wants more explanation on how he's losing money, but with those 2 hours, but
Well, I want an explanation on how the fact that he's allowed to work on GPS and it went off and therefore he can't work the route. I don't understand.
do you want to explain?
Well, they said I embarrassed the clients.
Ah, okay.
So they moved him to a position in the warehouse. We would ask that that be removed so he can go back to his original position. He had, I apologize. I'm getting the feedback on the microphone, so it sounds like I'm loud. So Mr. Evans would ask that you remove the GPS tracking. He understands the bond conditions. He understands he needs to stay away from Miss Whitaker. However, with him losing money based on this GPS tracking and the rest of it, that's why we'd ask those to be removed at this time.
All right. State, do you have any questions?
Mr. Evans, have you had any contact with the complainant in these cases?
No more.
Have you had any contact with the family members of the complainants in these cases?
No, ma'am.
Do you, if GPS is removed, do you have any intention of contacting them in these cases?
No, ma'am.
What about the family members of the complainant?
No, ma'am.
No police officers.
All right. Any other witnesses?
No, you're not.
All right, the court will hear argument.
Judge, he's losing money. There's no argument from the state that he has had, or has he continued to influence anyone in this case? There's no evidence that he has violated the bond conditions before this, and he has no intention of doing so after this. We are asking for a speedy trial as well for that reason.
Well, no,
All-
let's focus on the motion to amend the bond conditions, then we'll get to your speedy trial.
I understand that, Judge, but they go together insofar as that we're asking for this to go forward quickly. We're asking for this to be resolved quickly.
State, are you prepared to go to trial on this today?
Your Honor, yes.
All right, so there we go. We have your speedy trial today.
Okay, so we'd ask for the bond conditions to be removed today as well. Go ahead.
Your Honor, obviously the state will defer to the court. However, it is concerning to the state that we have an incident of June, from the end of June last year. And then we again have an incident from October 22nd of last year. That's a violation of the bond condition to have no contact with the complainant. Now, we did have the opportunity to speak with the complainant a couple of weeks ago. She did confirm that she had not been bothered by the defendant in this case since that October incident. However, we did not have the opportunity to discuss removal of a GPS with her, so we do not have her input on that, Your Honor. But the state does have concerns for that violation of the bond condition initially.
All right, and counsel, I do have concerns as well because there are two cases.
Right, to
And the
allege-
case from, that's ended in 0056, when is that alleged to have occurred?
0056 is the violation of protective order. That was
Yes.
0056, Your Honor, is the assault family second. That was an offense date of June 25th of 2023. The violation of protective order or bond condition, excuse me, is 0059 with an alleged offense date of October 22nd, 2023.
All right, so I'm not inclined to remove GPS. I don't know if tracking will help him, and state if you will have any objections to tracking only.
I don't have any objection to that.
I'll give him tracking only, but I'm not going to remove the GPS. Yes,
On the bond condition, if I'm somewhere and somebody comes approach me and they tell me she's there and I leave and they cause the problem, I just want to know how I'm at fault. If I'm already somewhere and they follow me or find out where the party at and then I leave and her friend says I did something, how I'm at fault? I don't.
all right, it sounds to me like you're trying to give me the facts of the case as you see those. This hearing that we're having right now is not for me to determine the facts of your case and whether or not something happened or did not happen. Unless you want to do a bench trial, then of course I will hear everything.
Yeah.
All right. All right, so really his plea deadline date is scheduled for March 18th, but we do have a murder trial that's up first. So if something happens to the murder trial and he wants his speedy trial, we'll give you a trial today. So if y'all still want a jury trial today, we will give that to you. Otherwise, your plea deadline date is March 18th.
Do you want to have the plea deadline date as March 18th, or do you want to be on call for today, Mr. Evans?
It's up to you. Otherwise, you're due back here on March 18th. So we potentially could give you a jury trial today, or either you can come back on March 18th. Which do you prefer, Mr. Evans? I'm sorry?
March 18th.
All right. So do you still want to assert your right to a speedy trial, counsel? Because your client is saying that he prefers to come back on March 18th.
I'll defer to my client. Your Honor.
All right. Are you withdrawing your motion for a speedy trial?
This time, Judge, we would ask for the trial date of March 18th.
Well, March 18th will be your plea deadline date. All right.
We would be
So,
ready for trial on that date as well.
all right. So are you withdrawing your motion for a speedy trial?
Yes.
All right. Is there anything else? All right. We'll see you back on March 18th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.